Hello, my name is John Long. I'm a technology program specialist with the Department of Educational Technology for the School District of Palm Beach County. Thank you for joining us for this second episode of our 5-part series on fines, a Florida research model, developed initially by the Florida Association for Media and Education and redeveloped from the Florida Department of Education just last summer, in the summer of 2021. We wanted to show how to use this process with a group of students. So we have a class from Palm Beach Gardens Community High School, and they're going to be using this based on a novel that they chose called Dreamland Burning by author Jennifer Latham. They have actually started their project on the focus, which is the first letter. Let's do a brief overview of what FINES really is. FINES is starting with the F, which is focus, where the students actually narrow their ideas based on the book for different topics to research. There's 6 different groups and 6 different topics. Also, the next letter is I, which we're focusing on today, which is investigate. We'll talk more about that in just a second. N is note-taking, D is develop, and S is self-evaluate. Let's put the focus on the I. So today we're going to talk about how to use search engines to start with our research, proper search tools, and how to use Boolean operators, such as the plus, minus, the quotes, parentheses, and so on. And then we're going to put them to the test using the CRAAP test. We have a professor from Palm Beach State College that's going to share with them the CRAAP test. In addition, we're going to show them how to use databases that our school district purchases that gives them good, accurate sources for their data. So that's going to be using SIRS Researcher and GALE. And then one of my colleagues is going to share with them how to get a public library card and use some of their databases that they have access to that we may not have access in the school district. All of that's focusing on the I. We thank you for joining us, and if this is going to be a recorded session, but we will have a premiere where we're going to have questions in the chat. So if you join us for the premiere, feel free to use the chat window. Thank you for joining us again, and we hope you enjoy this series. So let's talk about search engines. Search engines are how we look up information. They've been around for a long time. The more familiar one now is Google. We even use it as a verb. Let's Google it. Google is a powerful search engine, but it's not the only search engine out there. There's Microsoft Bing. There's Yahoo that's been around for a long time, and a new one called DuckDuckGo, which prides itself on its privacy features. So let's talk about Boolean operators within search engines to help us redefine our search parameters and narrow our focus so we don't get so many results when we do searches. When doing a search online, if you don't put any kind of specific parameters, you're going to get a lot of hits. In this case, over 3 billion. One operator is to add a plus sign or the word and. If you do that between 2 topics, it will add both topics to your list to help narrow the search. In this case, Black Wall Street plus Tulsa. Another option is to use the minus sign. Let's say I'm looking for Abraham Lincoln, but I don't want anything about the Civil War. I can go Abraham Lincoln minus the Civil War, which will take out anything regarding the Civil War. When adding quotes, both open and close, it will look for specifically those terms, Black Wall Street, nothing but Black Wall Street altogether. That helps narrow your search even more so. Adding the quotes plus the plus sign, if I did Black Wall Street in quotes plus 1921 plus .gov for government websites, that narrows my search down to 976 hits. That's a big difference from 3 billion.
Hi everyone, I'm Professor Rachelle Harris, a librarian from Palm Beach State College. I'm here today to talk to you about the CRAAP test. Now I know it's a funny term, but that's good because that means it's easy to remember. You just finished learning how to search on Google, but how do you make sure that's a good source to use? Well, you can use the CRAAP test. CRAAP stands for currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. So let's start with currency, the timeliness of the information. So when you're looking at information, you want to think about how recent it is. If I'm doing research on a historic topic, I may not find something as recent as this month or even this year. But if it relates to our current topic, keep that in mind. You may be able to find the connection to today's events. Also consider, are the links on the webpage functional? And is it up to date? All of those things are related to currency. Now let's look at relevance, the importance of the information to your needs. You know what your topic is, you know the message you're trying to convey, and the point you're trying to make. So when you're looking at your sources, you want to make sure that they fit your needs. So also look at who is the intended audience. Is this for an academic crowd? Is it for students? Is it for professionals? Or is it for the general public? You want to keep that in mind. Also, have you compared your sources and are you comfortable citing them? When you're doing research, you want to make sure that it's not too advanced or too low. You want to know that you can accurately cite the information and understand it when you're using it. Authority. The author of the information and their qualifications. So you want to know if you can see if the author is a well-respected author, if they have credentials, if they're experts in the field, if they know what they're talking about and they have the evidence to back that up. Also look at the URL. So does the URL reveal anything? Is it a .org, .edu, .gov, .com, or .net? .coms and .nets can be bought, so you want to be careful of the information you find on there. .orgs can represent different organizations. So you could have an organization that very strongly believes in one side or another on specific topics. So keep that in mind and look for bias. You're safe to go with .edus or .govs typically because they represent educational and government institutions. Also, is there any contact information? If you see contact information, this is a great indicator of a good source because you can reach out to the author and ask them for additional clarification or ask them to answer any questions. Accuracy, the reliability, truthfulness, and correctness of the content. So when you're looking at information, you want to make sure that it's accurate, there aren't any errors in the information. Is there evidence supporting it, or is there supporting evidence? So see if they've cited any other research to support their facts or conclusions. What about language? Is there any bias in the tone or the language that's being used? Is it going to emote any feelings from you? You want to make sure that it's clear and it's to inform or educate. Also, spelling errors. Do you see any spelling errors on the page? This can also be a clear indication that this may not be a source you want to use. And then lastly, purpose, the reason the information exists. Is it to inform? Is it to teach, sell, entertain, or persuade? you're looking for clear intentions. Is it fact, opinion, or propaganda? And then also, is there bias? Is there any cultural bias, political bias, religious, institutional, or personal bias? All of those things you have to keep in mind. Now remember, if you're searching online, you want to use every aspect of the CRAAP test. But if you're using something like a library database, the last three are typically taken care of for you. So you're just focusing on the first two, currency and relevance. Okay, now that you know the whole CRAAP test, let's do a quick test. So based on the entire thing, currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose, where would I go if I was looking for information regarding Black Wall Street? Would I go to the New York Times or would I go to Wikipedia? Now remember, in this scenario, we're searching online. If we're using a library database, we don't have to worry as much about accuracy, authority, and purpose, but we're looking at all of them right now because we're doing an online search. So we want to know if the links work, if it's up to date, how current is that information, is it relevant to me, am I comfortable citing it, what about the URL, the contact information, supporting evidence, language, and the reason that information exists. So if you said New York Times, you would be correct. And the reason for this is we know that we can easily find the author of the information and their credentials. It's timely. Because of Black Wall Street's main topic or the subject, we may be able to find something more recent. The author has their contact information, as we said. We see in the URL, it is a .com, but if we skip forward to purpose, the New York Times is a trusted source, a trusted news source, okay? So when we go there, we're looking at an article that is factual. They have their evidence and their supporting evidence. So you can see where it's coming from. So there are little aspects all over that hit each element of the CRAAP test. Now, when it comes to Wikipedia, this can be tricky, and sometimes we may go there in the beginning of our research just to get a general idea. But when you use your sources, you don't actually want to use Wikipedia. And the reason for this is it may not be as timely. You don't know necessarily when it was updated or who was updating it. You don't know the reason they did. You may not necessarily be able to see all the information's background evidence or supporting evidence. There may not be those citations. And although Wikipedia is typically used to inform you, there can be times when anyone can put in that information and it may be to persuade you. So those are some little tricky things you want to consider when you look at a source like Wikipedia. You want to make sure you're just using that in the beginning instead of towards the end when you're actually citing your sources. So now that you know every element of the CRAAP test, I hope you use this when you're doing your research, especially if you're doing an internet search compared to a library database. But now that you're going into the databases, keep in mind currency and relevance. That's what you're looking for.
SIRS. So let's see. So as soon as I type SIRS, SIRS comes up, and this is what it looks like. This is the elementary version. This is you right here because you're older, you're researching. Okay. So it's the little red guy with the science speaker. And when I get here, I'm going to type in my topic. So again, ours is Black Wall Street, and did it affect or start or have a cause and effect on the race riots? We'll talk about all this another day because it's really awesome, but right now I just want to go right to what my topic is, which is what you'll want to do also, right? So I will tell you that first I did this. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know. That's not exactly what I'm looking for, right? It talks about Black History Month, a lot of different things. Oh, wait, well, President Biden met, okay. No, that's not really what I'm looking for. So I wanted to know if it had any effect on the race riots, correct? Yes? Disagreement? I'm not lying to you. So then I was like, okay, well, how about if I do the Tulsa race riots? Whoops. And you have to spell right. I did, oh, okay. Thank you. And remember, that's part of your rubric, proper punctuation. Okay, so, like, all right, well, I'm gonna look through these articles quickly here, and I did find one that was actually, I remember Mr. Long talked about if you do anything, any interviews, they have to be cited. So here's, for instance, if this is part of your topic, and let's see, it went down here. Okay, and so this was an article that I found. I was like, oh, all right, this looks pretty good. And you know what else I liked about it? It's pretty relevant, right? 2021. So when you find something that you like, you can click on it. You can read it. If you, you're going to be citing these things, and I'm going to show you a database in the near future where you can actually go to cite things. But what do you see here? Cite. If you click on this, it will actually cite it for you, and you can also save it to the Google Cloud. How many times have you researched something, then you go back to find it? Can you find it easily? No, it's always gone. So if you find something along the way that you even remotely think you're going to use later, save it to your Google Drive, okay? This will cite it for you. You can also, this will read it to you, and then you can of course go down and read the article. Any questions about how I got here? Okay, so I'm using this site and I'm showing it to you because, again, it's vetted information. We talked about the different sources. Now you can go out and you can look for different sources, right? Because you have to have at least 4. But what do you see right here? You see source types. They're all right here in this database for you. Newspaper, magazine, books, scholarly journals, and other sources, okay? Oh. Oops. Fingers, okay? So which of these sources do you think would have the most relevant, newest information of any of them? Probably the newspapers, right? And the one thing that you can be sure of when you're here in SIRS is that all the information is vetted. SIRS is run by teachers, by educators, so they're trying to give you good, authentic, vetted information, unbiased information so that you can read all of this and come to your own conclusions. Anybody have any questions at all? No, you think you'll use this? Easy, right? So how do I get to these? It's very simple. You just click on them, okay? Case for reparations. And so what does it look like if I want to cite this, right? It generates the citation for you, okay? And you're just gonna put it in your Google Drive and it's as easy as that, okay? Copy, put it in your Google Drive. What does it look like when you save it to the Google Drive? You're just gonna either save it to the class. I don't know that you'd save it to the classroom. You don't want everybody seeing your stuff, right? So you're gonna save it to the Google Drive.
All right, so inside your portal, I'm Miss Sunshine. I work with library and media for the district. Inside your portal, like Ms. Beck said, we pay for 2 databases. So that information is already accurate. It's already been reviewed. You don't have to worry about the sources and where it comes from. In your portal, under research, you're going to see SIRS, but you're also going to see GALE.
I turned it off.
Oh, I put it back on. Oh, you guys back on.
Okay, so GALE Research, it's going to be right next to the tile for SIRS, same spot. So this one is another database, and what I like about this one is everything is there for you, every single tool. It's everything, these are different topics that pop up. You're gonna go to your school.
Go back, you were already there.
Oh, I was already, okay, so I'm here.
See where's this Palm
Okay,
Springs High School?
So, because here and what we're talking about, if I clicked into African American collection, and then, like we said, we were looking at Black Wall Street. So, I typed that into our database. And there was actually a very good article about Tulsa, right here, the eruption of Tulsa. So automatically I know that obviously the connection between Black Wall Street and Tulsa connects somehow because there's a whole article. What I like about this database, one, while you're reading, if you need to change the size and increase the font, it can also be read to you. If you need to change the background because you don't like to read under white, you can do that. There's different reading tools. But while you are reading, I can go through here, and the minute I highlight or hover over, I get tools that pop up. So I can highlight it and I can pull it out. So when I go back to look at the article, I've already read and it's already highlighted for me of what I'm pulling out for what I need. I can also cite it, and then right here, I can write in my own notes, change it. So I can just say when it happened. So if I want to go through here quickly, right? Right? Okay, when it happened, save it, okay? Then I keep reading, and then I'm gonna pull out, oh look, right there it talks about Greenwood. And now it's showing me that hundreds, and again, I might want to do another color. So this is one, and then here I can say what happened, or I can put what it's saying in my own notes, in my own voice. Save it. Okay, somebody's doing the KKK. Okay, so this article, if you want to use it, goes into the emergence of the KKK. So this article will help you, okay? So I'm doing my notes, I'm highlighting, I'm going through it, and then also, like the other database, I have different options here. I can go here now, I can see everything that I've highlighted in my notes, right? I can also send it to my Google Drive. Aha. So here, if I go to my drive, okay, so now you have the article, and it has what you've highlighted. Even when I click on it, it has what you have highlighted, and when you scroll all the way through the article, it's a 37-page article, it has what you highlighted in your notes already there for you. So you don't have to add or do anything additional. You do it while you're reading, and then it's all there for you to, it's already there for you to use and do. Then you can, in documents, share it with the people on your team, and then you all can make comments to go with it.
Do you have a public library card? If not, I'll show you how to get one. It's very easy. First, visit our public library's website at pbclibrary.org. That's pbclibrary.org. There's a lot of information on this website, so I can't wait for you to check it out. We have 16 different branches all across Palm Beach County, tons of research tools and digital media like ebooks and audiobooks and newspapers, teen events. But right up here where you see more, we're going to click that so that you can get the online application to get a library card. Right down here at the bottom, getting a library card, we're going to click on this. And here we have all the information that you need about our local branches and what you need to bring in for your library card. If you're under 18, it's very simple. You just come in with a parent or legal guardian. The parent has to have a valid Palm Beach County driver's license or state ID. Here's the online application for your library card. You're going to fill this out and then stop in any one of the 16 local branches with your parent or legal guardian. If you want, we also have applications that you can print out and fill out. And these applications are available in Spanish and also in Haitian Creole, as well as English. So the library card is free, and you can check out up to 50 items. We look forward to seeing you in one of our local branches. Please stop on in and get your library card. I'd like to show you one resource that you can use to help you build your background knowledge as you're doing your research for this particular project. We're going to find this under research right here. And what we're looking at today are historical newspapers. So I'm going to go down to have all these different categories here, but I'm going to go down to newspapers right here. And under this, you'll see all the databases that we have to access newspapers. We are going to look at the ProQuest Historical Newspapers, the U.S. Southeast Edition. So this collection of newspapers are really great for looking at what's going on in a particular time period. How was it written about in the news? So I'm going to use the search terms 1921 Tulsa riot and see what happens. You see here that these articles that pop up are all articles that were written about the riot, but I want to know what happened in 1921. So I'm going to enter the date range here of 1921, January 1st to 1921, December 31st. So I only want to look at the year. So let's update this. And now what we have is a list of newspaper articles. Again, this is in our southeast area, but it's a list of newspaper articles that have been written about the riot that happened in Tulsa in 1921. So looking at the Orlando Morning Sentinel, you get a screenshot of the actual, or an image of the actual article, and here's the article here. So you get a chance to read it and read how it was written about during the time that it actually happened. Or not during the time it happened, but around the time that it happened. If you want more information about the newspaper, all you have to do is open up the details, and this is a good thing for you to build your source knowledge. It'll show you who's the publisher, who holds the copyright, and then the citation. This is the wonderful thing right here. If you want to actually use something from this newspaper article, clicking that citation will give you the citation here. And if you're using MLA, you can change it to MLA edition. So here is your complete citation that all you need to do is copy it. And since you're using Noodle Tools, you can even connect it to your Noodle Tools account and just upload that source right into your Noodle Tools. How cool is that? So I encourage you to check this out.
Thank you for watching our second episode of focusing on the FINDS model of Florida Research Model. We thank you for joining us, and on behalf of the entire training team and the entire educational technology team, thank you. And join us again for our next episode, coming really soon.